I'm buying Football Manager 2025 on the console on the 26th of November, so you don't have to. You're welcome. And once you watch me playing it, well, you can decide whether you want to spend your hard-earned cash buying the game for yourself. So what do we know about Football Manager 2025 on the console? Well, not an awful lot. Sports Interactive are keeping the cards close to the chest. There have been one or two things that have been released, which I think we all know about. The release date, 26th of November. So, there are one or two things. But I've been doing a little bit of, a deep dive in. And again, you're welcome. Just to have a look and see if I can dig out any information at all. And, well, the Steam website has a kind of a fairly standard press release on there, but if you read into it a little bit more, it's quite interesting. So if, like me, you've read this press release and basically you've just skimmed through it and you pick up on the women's football, absolutely brilliant edition, Premier League license, brilliant edition, but there's not an awful lot of information. Unless, like me, you deep dive, and I've underlined it there. Volumetric player animations. What the hell does volumetric player animations mean? Well, I can tell you. So you may or may not know that Arsenal, Manchester City and Liverpool and some Italian clubs as well have installed in their grounds 38 5K volumetric cameras. And basically what this allows the data analysts to do at those clubs is view the play from every single angle on the pitch, and they can freeze frame, they can rotate, and basically they can see, for instance, how a player runs up to take a penalty, what his body shape's like, defensive positionings when your team is under counter-attack, your goalkeeper positioning at corners, also the body shape of a corner taker, running styles. Running styles are a really important one. When you watch Erling Haaland run, he's like a runaway train, it's head down and all of those kind of things. And if anything close to this is going to be incorporated into FM25, well then I, for one, I'm quite excited. And the thing is, at the moment, there's lots of negativity around Football Manager 2025. For instance, there's been no kind of actual match engine footage been released. So we're all head in hands thinking, oh, well, it mustn't be ready then, or it's not going to be that good, it's going to be very glitchy. But looking at this technology, if they've used this technology on a brand new match engine that actually can take it, I mean, the future is very bright, I think. So maybe we should all turn our frowns upside down and let's have a bit of a smile. And just to close this short video on Football Manager 2025, down in the comments if you want, what are your hopes? What would you like to see from Football Manager 2025? What do you want to see changed? For me, I would like it to be more of a management sim, and I've said this in many of my videos. I don't want it to be computer gamey, and I think you probably know by that. I mean, for instance, I'll give you three really good for instances. The transfer system really wants overhauling. Only a few episodes ago in my Brazil save, I was saying that, basically a player has a value of 2.1 million. You go in for him, they want 3 times that. And yet, woe betide you if you try and sell a player that's got a value of 2.1 million, because you'll get nothing near, well, even 2.1 million. They'll probably come in with 400,000 offers. All of that needs sorting out. I've mentioned before about the player positionings. So basically you will have a player who can only play one position on the pitch. So let's say he's a left winger and that's all he can play. He can't play one place back. Really? Of course he can. On a football pitch, you watch football teams in any division in the world and you will get players playing in a variety of positions through a 90-minute game. So to have players who can only play as an attacking midfielder, but they can't play a little further back as a central midfielder, you know. I mean, fine, you wouldn't want a central defender playing as a centre forward, although I've seen occasions of that, not very often. But come on, Sports Interactive, sort that out. Let's have players who can play in, I'm not asking for the earth, centre-backs playing centre-forward, but let's have it so that an attacking midfielder can play as a central midfielder as well. It's only a little step back, isn't it? And player interactions, there are lots of these, but I'm just giving, 3 off the top of my head. Player interactions are another one. You get these very kind of static player interactions where you want to say something to a player. I give you a good for instance, a player who is saying that he wants to leave the club because he's not getting the game time that, that he wants. But it might well be that you're thinking, right, but I'm selling a player. I'm selling a player in 6 months' time. I need the money. When he's gone, you will get... That's you, mate. You're in there. You can't say that to them. So basically, more or less every time when you say something to a player, they'll get a grumpy on. It upsets the dressing room. And this is what I'm saying about computer, a computer game. I know it's a computer game, but I don't really want it to be a computer game where I call it levels of difficulty and curveballs. They get thrown at you, don't they, in Call of Duty and Horizon Zero. I mean, I could run loads of games that I've played. You get that. I don't want that in Football Manager. I want it to be a proper sim. I know there are limitations. I know that. I'm not a silly man. Some would say, well, you are a silly man. No, I'm not a silly man. I know that. But anyway, like I say, I don't want to leave this video on a negative position. I want to leave it on a positive position. And, well, what I've seen there, volumetric player animations. It's a mouthful, but it looks very, very exciting. And if we can see anything close to that in the match engine, well, I, for one, will be a very happy bunny.